kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Hello there, this is Farm Kenya show right here on KTN, and today we'll be speaking about ornamental bird type of farming. We'll be looking at different types of birds coexisting in the same space. We'll be speaking to Zipporah Kimemia, who is a quantity surveyor but also a farmer on the side. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Join us as we start this type of farming and journey. All right, Zipporah, thank you for joining us. And now, before we even get into the conversation of everything else, let's start with the basics and look at the history of how you got into ornamental type of farming, these birds that you have here.
Chanel poultry came in a way that I didn't think of, because in this farm I started with 3 chicken, that's 1 cock, 2 hen, 1 pair of geese, a pair of ducks, each pair turkeys. So there came a time wakaanza kuzaana, wakazaana. I was selling eggs locally, hen locally, but about the ornamentals, nilikuwa tu nimewaeka wa beautify to my compound. Mm-hmm. So there is this one time I was gifting a friend a hen, and I used to watch TikTok videos. So I told my husband, being my biggest supporter in this farming, mm-hmm. I told him, we chukua hii video, hata sisi to post before ifike. It was on March 2nd, March 2025. Mm-hmm. So nikamwambia before ifike Christmas, watu thika wakuwe wanajua kwenye watatoa kuku za Christmas. Because washakuwa wengi. So my target was selling my chicken, like hasa huyo hen mwenye nilikuwa nimeshika nikiweka kwa carton alikuwa anaenda pande ya bypass, but the viewers hawakuona my target. Waliona what was behind me. There were turkeys and geese. They were interested in ornamental birds. So hapo ndipo nikakuja kujua so watu wanapenda ornamentals, not me peke yangu. And ornamentals, it's about beauty, some for security, eggs production and meat. So hapo the customers ni wao walinionyesha what they want, sio chenye mimi nataka kuwapatia.
Okay. All right, very interesting story. So now from there ndio hii sasa tuko na wewe hapa. So since then, how many types of birds do you have here? Na zilikuja aje? So unaweza tuambia the ones that you have as at now, ni ngapi uko nazo na ni types gani uko nazo?
At that time when I did my first TikTok video which went viral, I had geese, ducks and turkeys. But at the moment I have fantails, those are fantail pigeons. I have frizzled polish, that's naked neck and the frizzled polish. And I have some silkies. I have now the turkeys, the geese, the ducks. Ducks, there are the Muscovy ducks, the Rouen ducks, there are Indian runners.
So ni mingi.
Ni mingi.
There are many.
There are many.
Okay. So now all these types of birds that you have, of course they usually have, they are taken care of, I believe, in different ways. So how do you manage to make sure that all these birds in the same space and in the same compound, all of them are healthy? Because as we can see them, they are very healthy. So what goes into how you take care of these different birds that you have?
So let's first talk about turkeys. Many people fear rearing turkeys because of one thing, they are delicate. Hiyo hatuwezi kataa, they are delicate, but when looked, ukiwaangalia vizuri from day one, wasipatane na baridi, vaccinate them from day 7 gumboro, day 14 gumboro, day 21, day 35 Newcastle, udunge the fowlpox and typhoid, you are good to go. And then after the vaccinations, what I do most of the time, I give them, I do it organically. So kwa maji yao, twice or thrice a week, huwa naeka aloe vera, I blend aloe vera, garlic, ginger, turmeric, and hizi pilipili hizi kali, I blend, naeka kwa maji. So that gives them natural immunity, it boosts their immunity.
Okay, very interesting, and I believe those are some of the things that a farmer at home can pick up, you know, putting all these things together and then giving their birds. So, all right, so that is how you're maintaining them even to be healthy, right? So when it comes to now keeping them under maybe the same shed, making sure they are all well secure, what goes into that? Do you usually separate maybe and say turkeys are staying at this side, the other chicks that you have are staying at this side? So how do you separate them, especially in the sheds that you have?
There are times that I separate them, especially the geese and the ducks, they stay together. The turkeys and the chickens, sometimes they stay together, but I love turkeys being on a different shed, so that turkeys, sijui walikuwa wameumbwa wakiwa wakichaka, because ukiwaeka kwa nini, ukiwaeka mahali nini huku nje, utapata wanatafuta place kabushi hivyo, wanataka kutagia hapo. So sometimes when they reach maturity, I put them in a shed kwenye watakuwa wanatagia aso.
Okay. So now you've mentioned about maturity, and I believe all these birds have different times they mature, they have different months they mature. So like for example, when you have turkeys and chicken in the same space, how long does a turkey take to maturity? And how long does, of course, also the chicken take to maturity? And how does it look when it comes to now, you as a farmer, making sure that all of them get the attention they need each and every time?
When fed well, my chicken reach maturity at 4-5 months. At 5 months, you will see that I'm collecting like 75-80% eggs. So kumaanisha washafika their maturity. The turkeys at 8 months wako maturity already. So when I am feeding them wakiwa pamoja, I make sure the ratio, I don't use a certain ratio, but I make sure wameshiba wote, because like turkeys wako na mass kubwa, vile tu mwili yao ni kubwa. Ukiamini turkey kwanza wa kiume atakula like 3/4 kasuku ya mahindi kila siku. Wow. Ukimwamini. But even yeye, like the geese, wanapenda kugraze. So that's how huwa ninaweza kumanage about the feeds, the turkeys, the hen wakiwa pamoja. So wote wanashiba kivyao. Okay.
And ikifika water, kuwapatia maji, ku make sure the places zenye wanalala ziko cleaned. How is it? Because now uko na all these types. I mean umesema mingi. Uko nazo mingi. So when it comes to cleaning hizo places zenye wanalala, because tumeangalia hapa it's clean. So how do you make sure una clean hizo places, una make sure ziko sawa, una make sure place yenye chicken inalala na place yenye the birds pia zinalala ziko clean zote?
For the chicks, I clean each and every day, but for the big ones, I clean each and every Saturday. And I spray biosecurity measures. So I have that one dawa yenye watu na spray because even for the pests, the lice, the what, so I have to clean the sheds each and every Saturday. Nikifanyanga nikispray.
All right. So and when it comes to maneno ya diseases, because with those different species, na believe disease ikikuja it might affect most of them. So ukiziangalia vile ziko na ama ukiangalia the birds that you have, when it comes to the diseases, how are you making sure that the disease yenye iko kwa hii haipati ingine?
Sana, turkeys are the most delicate birds in my farm. When you take care of them well, hautawaipata diseases kwa farm. Like, there are times utapata kuna homa maybe kwa farm, so unapata maybe kumepata homa, but the yenye nimekuambia I blend, I give them hata kama si wagonjwa. So hata ukisikia kwingine neighborhood wana homa wana nini, for me huwa hainifiki haraka because I make sure there is a foot bath kwa gate. Kuna nazipe hizo natural immunity vizuri, just like you vile unaweza boost yako na ginger na turmeric na saumu. Now that's how I boost them. Plus the early stages, when you immunize them vizuri kwa early stages, na make sure hawajapatana na baridi mahali, you are good to go. At times when I started there were challenges. Mimi by the way nimelearn in my own way because I knew nothing about poultry. Yes, home kwetu nimelelewa nao, but hata mayai my dad ndiye huwa anaokota hata wa leo. So nilikuwa nawaona but I don't know about them much, kuwa take care kufanya nini. Sisi bora tukule nyama tukule mayai. But for now nilisoma na yangu, even I'm teaching my dad some things zenye yeye hajua, ananiambia wewe ni wewe sasa ni wewe young, teach us now. Teach us your ways.
Very interesting. So unajua now you are learning things na unaweza pia msaidia. So ikifika kwa structures, the structures that they stay in or they sleep in, what goes into that? Because nano use wood, use wire mesh, na use iron sheets. So ni nini imefanya use hizo, and is it easy ukiuse hizo? Because now some other people might want to use other different maybe materials. So unaweza tuambia why you've used the specific materials that you've used?
For me, I go with affordability. What I afford is what I buy. But even if you are looking at affordability, bado unaangalia security ya your poultry. Like for the chicks, chini kuna plastic mesh. Juu ukiekea aka kengine kawaya huwa zinakuliwa miguu. So for me, I use the plastic mesh for the chicks. And then about ventilation, lazima uwezieke ventilation vizuri. For the timber, it's expensive, but hakuna biashara yenye hautawahi kosa kuingia kwa mfuko. You have to dig into your pockets to get what you want, to get your returns.
Okay. All right. Very well explained. Na sa ikifika maji, because they have to drink water, they have to take water. How much water do they consume, especially sasa the ones that we have on this side, kwenye kuna turkey, kuna chicken and the other birds? Ukiangalia the amount of maji yenye zina consume, how much is it, and how many times in a day unafaa ku make sure the birds have water?
Sometimes I don't know, they reduce the consumption ya maji, the drinking. I don't know, because of what I give them. Iko na maji already, like migomba ya ndizi. The hydroponics pia maybe saa zingine nitazipatia zikiwa na maji. But normally, let's say like 100, a flock of 100, how wanaenda na 20 liters.
Every day?
Every day, 20 liters. For the chicks, determine nothing numbers, but most of the time, all my chicks, naonanga pia wakienda na 20 liters.
Okay. All right. So 20 liters uko sawa in a day?
40 liters in my farm,
Iko sawa.
minus the geese.
Yes.
Geese ni kuoga wanaoga. So they need
Yeah.
a lot of water.
Okay. All right. So acha tuangalie feeds. What type of feeds do you use, especially for this mixed type of birds? Maybe unaweza tuambia what you usually do with your feeds so that at least at the end of the day mtu understand how they feed together. Do you separate and say okay, hii tunapatia turkey, hii tunapatia chicken, hii tunapatia hawa? So just give us a little bit about the feeds.
What I do when I hatch my chicks, I give them chick starter crumbs from day 1 to day 60. So from day 61, they are supposed to go on growers. But for me, because I mix the growers and the layers, because natakanga wa raw nje, that's the main reason ya kuwa mix. Napendanga waki-raw nje. So what I do, I don't do those growers or layers. What I do a mixture, huku thika tunaita super mix, which is a mixture of broken maize, broken rice, ochonga, and omena brings the protein in it, cotton, sunflower seeds. Unaona hata ukiwa huko ushago hizo vitu zote utazipata bei ya chini. So usianze kusema you will not farm such because ya cost ya feeds. Chenye uko nacho wapatie.
Okay. So ukiangalia in taking care of these birds, of course umesema the feeds vile ziko, especially ikifika time ya different seasons, kuna some type of feed that maybe in the mixture inaweza miss, because unajua sometimes the way our seasons are, kuna other seasons where you will not find different types of mixtures that you've said. So in the different seasons that we have, how do feeds perform? Ukiangalia kutoka hiyo mwaka yote vile tuko vile even this year the way imepita, the way ulikuwa una feed your chicks in maybe January to April, inaweza kuwa hivyo sahi?
It's not even January to April. Hata nikienda ninunue feed sahi, utapata kesho maybe si the same. But the same, hata ikikosa inakosanga one thing. Juoves ameenda, the supplier ameenda kwa market akapata hapana, hiki kitu ni expensive na nikienda nikiwaongeza bei hawatabai. So we have to take it the way it is. The best thing ni maintain that food yenye ulikuwa ushaanza nayo, hata ikimiss kitu kimoja mbili, no issue. Bora change the feeds. But kuniambia ati ya leo iko na mahindi mingi kuliko the broken rice, it's nature.
It's nature. Okay. So now let's move and look at managing a farm yenye kona all these birds when it comes to kuzifungia, ku make sure asubuhi zimefunguliwa. How do you do that? Like on a typical normal day, ukiangalia Zipora ameamka asubuhi, how does your day look like, especially east side yenye tuko na turkey, tuko na chicken, tuko na the birds? Yes.
What I do, I first nafungulia hawa kuku wenye wanataga kwanza walete mazao mapema ni mapema to make our pockets beautiful. So I feed them, kuweka tu kwa traps, maji naosha the jerry cans vizuri na waekea maji. If there are vitamins nilifaa kuweka nitaweka. If nilikuwa nimeblend the akina ginger, the turmeric, the aloe vera nitaweka. From there niende kwa goose. Sasa kwa goose nako nioshe the troughs, niwaekee maji safi, niwaekee feeds. From there niwafungulie waingie huko. Nao wenye wako free range washamaliziwa. Ukienda pande ya chicks, you have to wash your hands well. Juu kuna kitu inaweza kuwa na hawa free range. Chicks are delicate. So after you wash your hands well, sasa unaingia kwa the chicks, you feed them. From there, the ornamental birds wenye huwa wana roam huku nje ni turkeys peke yake, geese na ducks. The fantails, the frizzled polish, the silkies, hao huwezi waacha wa roam nje, huwa na waacha tu kidogo, they are for beauty. So unaona hiyo white yake ikikuja huku nje, kuna vile itachafuka, itaacha kukua that beautiful. So hizo nazo nazifeed. And for the pigeons, the fantail, not even for the fantail pigeons, for the pigeons, they feed on chick starter crumbs forever. I feed them on chick starter crumbs forever.
Okay, so ikifika kwa things to do with vaccination, because you had mentioned it earlier, because sasa tunaangalia management vile the way you are doing your things. So ikifika vaccination, are they all vaccinated at the same time kama una vaccinate? And also vile umesema turkeys are the most delicate, zinafaa kuvaccinatiwa and everything else. So what happens when they are staying, kama hizi zingine hazivaccinatiwi at the same time, inakuwaje sasa wakiwa pamoja na wenye hawaja vaccinatiwa?
I have a schedule yenye najuanga hii lot nafaa kuvaccinate at a certain day. So ukiona nimeweka hizi kwa the same coop, ni kumaanisha wanaendanisha vaccination. Kwa si changanyi ati waleo walikuwa wakunywe Gumboro na the Newcastle, they are on the same shed. I don't do that. So vaccinations, I have a schedule yenye natumianga. I know this coop inafaa vaccination leo, hii coop inafaa kesho or next week. You know your birds. I do it 24/7. I'm here 24/7.
Since you know your birds, before we go for break, nataka utuambie one thing that maybe someone might not know about keeping birds together. That one thing that umelearn as a farmer that many people don't usually know.
Rearing of, like saa zingine nasikianga kama naweza ondoa kuku because they are income yake haileti vizuri kama the ornamental birds, but unapata inanisaidia kuuza the ornamentals. Kuna mwenye atakuja alikuwa anakujia kuku apate haya, kumbe nilikuwa nimepata video yake ya TikTok yenye ni kuku alikuwa na advertise hizo, kumbe ako na turkeys ama what. So ukitaka kufarm, acha kuweka ng'ombe peke yake, eka hata sheep na goats na pigs. And the best thing in it, why I said nasikianga naweza ondoa maybe kuku, because like an egg ya kuku, the most vile unaweza uza bei gali kabisa, the gali kabisa, I know 20 to 25 bob. For the ornamental birds, the cheapest one is 100 bob. It goes up to even 1,000 bob for an egg. So that's why you see najita Chanel, poultry and ornamentals. I love ornamentals sana.
Okay. All right. And with that, we're going to go for a short break. Did you hear an egg ya 1,000? We'll have to look at that when we come back. So don't go too far. We'll be back with more.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
All right, welcome back. Today we are talking about ornamental birds. And before we went for break, we were talking to Zipporah, who was explaining to us how she manages to keep all these types of birds in the same space. And now we're going to be continuing with the conversation. All right, so Zipporah, tuendelee, sindio? All right, now let's look at how you are managing to make sure that these types of birds are getting to the market. I mean, you're doing this also even on a commercial aspect as well. So when you look at the types of birds that you have, which ones usually go first in this farm of yours?
I love it because my clients are the ones who tells me what they want.
Okay.
So if I don't have such in my farm, I usually look for someone who have the best mother stock. I take my chicks from there, maybe some eggs. Even if you don't have that, hauna hiyo pesa You know, ornamentals, they are expensive. You may see them, sometimes they are expensive. So, unaweza anza na mayai. So, the customers are the ones who tells me what they want.
Okay.
Like at first, I was selling the chicken, but they saw the ornamentals, the turkeys and the geese. So that's how I sell. What sells most? Turkeys and geese.
Okay, turkeys and geese. Okay, so and your customers, the customers that you've spoken about, when they come and say, okay, we want a turkey or the geese, what do they usually focus on? Are they taking the turkey for the meat, or are they taking the geese for the eggs? Like, what do they usually come looking out for in this, the ones that cook very fast?
For the turkeys, at most times, I get customers who are meat, because a male turkey can go from 10 to 20 kgs.
Wow.
Ukilisha vizuri. So it's a goat.
It's like a goat, right?
It's like a goat.
Uh-huh.
So the turkeys, wengi wao it's for meat. Others wanachukua wakiwa wadogo waende wajilishie, zikuwe ornamentals kwao for the beauty, for the eggs, na wakilisha sana wananiambia they'll get for the meat. You know, when I started this project, it didn't come to me, I'll commercialize it. I just wanted my family to feed on organic things, wenye najua what they are feeding. So kukam commercial, clients ni wao walifanya nikuwe commercial.
All right. So, when you look at from when you started until now, and you look at the types of improvements that you've done, because I believe when you started with 2, right now you have a whole farm of this. So when it comes to the lessons that you've gotten to learn, especially in terms of taking care of all these birds in the same space, you can give us a little bit about that and how you have improved as a farmer.
Having started with 2 in number in every species here, when you take care of them vizuri, the production huwa inaendelea kukua vizuri, huwa wanazaana haraka, especially when you have kienyeji hens. You will give them, like turkeys, they lay eggs sana from 8 to 20 eggs. Kuna wenye hata watazidisha. So if you have a broody hen, utamwekea. So with time, utajipata ulikuwa na turkey just a pair, male plus female. Unajipata turkeys uko na 50 kwa boma. And what I do, hata ukipata what you want, the size you want is not in my farm. I request my clients, sina hii size, can I connect you to a certain farmer who I know rears well like me, because siwezi refer kwa mwenye vaccinate.
Okay.
Yes. So through my platform, I have even given other farmers platform ya kusell their things, their products. Kwa unapata even my customers wameenda zao wamekuwa wengi, they ask me where is the market, I direct them to clients wenye.
Okay. So from what you are saying, we are looking at how technology is coming in to improve your type of farming. So when you look at technology, the TikToks, the digital platforms, the way they've come, what addition have they made to your type of farming, and how visible have they made you become? Because I mean, you started just with a very simple concept, and then this is what you have. So how has technology helped you improve your type of farming?
Technology have assisted me. It is about each and every day vile inanisaidia, because I post my videos on TikTok, na maybe kuna mwenye ataniona tu saa hizi na niitishe what ameona, maybe ameona kuku, ameona goose. So the technology ilikuja kusaidia sana, especially TikTok to me, because you get new clients each and every minute. Like when I posted my first video, I didn't expect it to go for it to go viral. It's my first video. I don't know my audience. I got followings, I got likes. So hizo videos zikafanya at least Shanev ajulikane. That's when I created the name Shanev. It was in my mind because I wanted to create a company for my children. So the TikTok family made me create the page Shanev Poultry, which is doing really great because of them. They have been consistent, referrals, wenye wananiona each and every minute, and I thank God.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. And now let's look at the market because we started looking at how the birds are going when it comes to commercializing. Now, how is the market performing? Especially if you look at the birds market, especially in this region that you are in Thika. When you look at this ornamental birds that you have, the chicken that you have, how is the market performing?
The market is great because I have like 3-4 customers who have come here and told me that I had not checked on your bio yet to see you are in Thika. Now I was just interested to buy the ducks, and I just typed ducks in Thika, just gave me Shanev. So this TikTok thing have made people surrounding Thika. Unajua mtu ako Thika town hatajua huku kwenye niko ati mtu fulani analea kuku. Hata maybe kuna neighbors wenye hawajui niko na kuku, but through TikTok, like most of the customers wengi wako UK, wako US, wako Dubai, wako Qatar. Unapata bwana amenipigia simu, niliona uko Thika, yes, nataka unitumanie mzigo yangu Mtito wa Ndei kwa wife. Nataka unitumanie mzigo yangu Nyeri. So turudi kwa technology, imekuja kusaidia sana.
Okay.
Because unaona hadi kwenye watu wenye wako mbali sana, they are checking, wanakuona, and they are making those orders and purchases, and I deliver to many parts of the country. The farthest I've gone north is Lodwar, tumeenda Lamu. We deliver countrywide.
Okay. All right. That is really nice. So let's look at this particular type of farming and the challenges that you have been able to, along the way, experience, and how you have managed to make sure that turkeys, chicken, and all these names that you've said coexist together. And I believe the challenges have to be very many. So you can just tell us what the challenges have been and how you've been able to overcome.
There are very many challenges, and at times you wake up and feel like giving up.
Okay. But clearly you've not.
I've not given up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I told you earlier, my biggest support system is my husband and my children. They ask me, Mom, you've not done a video yet. So I wake up at least motivated sometimes. And, you know, kuna vile utafika, unapata huwa haikosi chiku mmoja umepata amekufa. The following day upate wawili. You feel like giving up, but giving up is not an option. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key, and so I'm not giving up anytime soon. I don't think I'll give up because diseases ziko, but we try as much as possible vile our poultry hawatapatana nazo because of the vaccinations that we do, and also the organic way kuzi-prevent from such diseases.
Okay. And also still on the challenges, when you look at the feeds the feed challenges, because you have many birds here, so I believe feeds are in a way a challenge, and also they're very expensive. So the initiative that you started of mixing all that you mix, and also growing there's a type of grass that we also grow. Yes. So you can also give us a little bit about that, and also touch on the hydroponics, because you have a hydroponic system that you also use on feeding these types of birds.
Feeds are challenging to me and to most farmers, but for me what I do, I soak and ferment my feeds. So the chicken feeds less but grows more and grows healthier, and also unajua ushazisaidia na digestion, just like the one mwenye amekunywa fermented porridge na mwenye amekunywa the ones that's not fermented, the fermented one inamsaidia kuliko the other one, the fresh one. So that's what I do. Plus I plant hydroponics. From there I've planted Mombasa Road grass, which huwa ninazikatakatia, wanapenda sana, plus migomba ya ndizi and their leaves. That's how I take care of my poultry. Alafu because huwa ninafagia the manure, as I said, each and every Saturday. Hiyo manure kuna shamba nimelis, huwa ninachuna huko hizo mboga na kuja na wapatia. And also kwa mama mboga, there is a certain mama mboga huwa ninaenda nachukua hizo zenye mkishakatakatiwa mboga, hizo zenye wazi na baki, I take them, they feed on them.
Okay. Right. And now that you mentioned about the diseases and the vaccinations, so when you look at these birds, what shows you that one bird is not, because you know they have different behaviors. They operate very differently. You say turkeys, you just leave them out. They're always mostly out. So when you look at all these birds that you have, if one type of bird has a disease, what shows you that they are not doing well?
I take time. Like after I feed them, utanipata ni kama sikuwa na kazi ingine. Na ketingi chini, unaweza nipata like 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm watching here, I go niende kwa geese, niende kwa chicks. So I take my time kuangalia my flock. When you notice something is not good with a certain chicken, you seclude it, unaipeleka mahali, unaifeed, ukiipeanga the vaccine ama the medicine yenye inafaa. And at times it's not good to generalize that hii ni sijui ni ugonjwa gani. Unaopatanga maybe umepata a certain hen haifeel vizuri, I take to my vet, anaifanyia postmortem ili nijue maybe there is something wrong in my farm which I should rectify. So si wanadamu peke yake wanafanyia postmortem. Hadi kuku tunafanyia postmortem, at least ujue chenye kinakula kuku wako kwa shamba yako.
Okay.
So that you can know the cause of everything in your farm.
Okay. Very, very important a point there from Zipporah. So let's move on and look at now the ways in which you make sure that there are no predators, dogs that come to, you know, take the chicken or to steal. So how do you make sure that your farm is secure with all these birds here?
Hapa kwenye niko, mwewe wanakuanga wengi sana. They roam, but wakiona chenye kiko chini, wakiona geese na wakiona turkeys, hawawezi anguka kwa boma yako.
Okay.
So the geese and the turkeys, wao wanakuwa na hiyo protection. So the mwewe akikuja ni kama anataka kuanguka kwako, na huwa wana detect. The geese huwa wana detect danger. Yes. So hivyo ndivyo. About dogs, nime fence vizuri. So hakuna vile dog atapata tupanya roots kwa kukuja. But sana sana mwewe, geese and turkeys ndio nimewaachia hiyo kazi.
Wow, very, very interesting. Very nice, because that's a very interesting point, and I believe you've had something there. So if you have geese and turkeys in your farm, believe you me, the hawks will not visit.
Hawks will not visit your farm.
Ah, okay. All right. So let's move on and look at some of the ways in which, because you mentioned about the sanitation, especially when you're coming to the farm, there's the liquid that you put your feet in, and okay. So how regular do you make sure that this chemical that is put there is changed, and also where the chicken or where the birds sleep, is there any type of chemical or sanitizer that you use there to make sure that there are no maybe bacteria that are going to affect the chicken? Yes.
No, because of the nini, because of thika ni kwa jua,
Yes.
so the liquid ina evaporate haraka ikipata kwanza na jua, but the liquid inafaa kutake 1 to 2 weeks, itakuwa bado strong. So in like for me 3-4 days inakuanga enough, nakuanga nimechange that liquid. Alafu kwa kuku every time Saturday nikitoa the manure, I make sure tumespray huko. If there is any bacteria, anything ilikuwa huko, inatoka.
Okay. So let's look at a beginner. A beginner who wants to get into this. Na aweke all these birds together in the same farm. What would you advise them? And how would you what would you tell them to do if they are trying to do this type of farming?
For the farmers who want to start this kind of farming, the poultry farming, don't be scared. I'm there to help. Ni watu wengi kwanza nimesaidia, wao wananiuliza aki I'm buying something yenye mimi kwetu hata sijawahi ona, sisi hatujalelewa na kuku, hatujalelewa na turkeys, but huwa nawaambia we are going step by step hadi ujue what will go, chenye utakuwa unawafeed, about vaccinations, about everything. And as I said earlier, most of them unaweza pata ni expensive, so unaweza pata a kienyeji hen, you can buy eggs from us like za turkeys. For geese lazima zijilalie zenyewe most of the times. Unaweza nunua mayai ya ducks, mayai ya turkeys, mayai ya Polish, ya silkies. The least egg kwa my farm is going for 100 bob until hadi 500 ya Brahma chicken. There are some Brahma chickens. So with the eggs utawezana kuenda na nini, kukua na flock yako. What I can tell you about now, the doves, the pigeons, hizo ndizo huwezi chukua mayai, you have to take the wazazi, the male plus female, because hao huwa wanajipelea chakula. They feed the baba na mama ndio wana feed the two chicks kwa mdomo. The interesting part of the pigeons.
Okay.
Yes.
And now, still on that, because you see now these ones are a very different kind of birds. They're not walking like these others. They're not eating from the ground. They are being fed by their parents. So when it comes to keeping them with these other ones, what should a farmer make sure to do? Because remember, they are somewhere in an enclosed place, and these others, you can see them. So what should a farmer do to make sure that they are also given attention like these others?
What I do on weekends when we are sisi wote hapa, the familia, father, mother and the children, kwa tunawaeka hapa hivi nje, tunawaekea pia, they are swimmers just like the geese and the ducks. So tukiwaekea hapo, the beauty of the pigeons, vile wanaoga, the way they walk, the fantail yenye iko nyuma. Guys, let's do this.
Yeah, okay. So, even as we are edging closer to the end of this conversation, what you see farmers who are doing this type of farming do, that maybe you would say they need to change in terms of the wrong when it comes to this type of farming? Just, you can tell us what you've seen and what you think needs to be corrected about this type of farming. Farmers who are doing this type of farming, what is that one thing that they are doing wrong?
What most farmers, we farmers do wrong, vaccinate your flock. Vaccinate your flock. You know, sometimes I was telling myself, because I'm doing the traditional way of aloe vera, kina garlic and ginger and turmeric, I thought that that's enough. But kuna siku kitakuja kirambe tu mtu, because it doesn't go well. Let's vaccinate. Let's vaccinate and The others sasa tuendelee kufanya nini? Tuendelee to do it organically and your farm will be good.
So your last point to farmers, your advice to young people also who want to get into this, and what would you like to encourage them?
As a young farmer, I would like to tell those young parents, naongea about parents because I'm a young mother and I love nature and nurturing. So tumeumbwa sisi the ladies tumeumbwa to nurture. So kama maybe huwa unaachwa hapo, maybe you have that small compound, such a nini yaka building zenye niko nazo hapa za chicks, it can hold something yenye unaweza anza nayo, like some chicks, some what, na uweze kupatia your family organic feeds zenye unajua kwenye zitatoka. Because for me, I started it I didn't think I'll go commercial way, but for me ilikuwa tu nifanye nini, I feed my family what I want. Ati mtoto akiniambia leo nataka kuku, si tremble, naangalia mfuko yangu, sina hiyo 1500, sina hiyo 1000 ya kununulia huyo mtoto the hen yenye anataka, mayai as a snack, and yes, the poultry farming business, and it's the next front share business yenye inaenda kuboom. So let's do this and market iko the ornamentals sana sana. People want beauty. Watu wanataka beauty kwa garden zao.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much, Zipporah, for engaging with us today. And I believe you've learned something today when it comes to ornamental birds type of farming. It's been really, really interesting. Right, we've come to the end of this edition of Farm Kenya. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Let's meet next time right here on KTN.
Kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa mkulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kuulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha